Azer and welcome to Kids. Today we're going to be making Sufganiyot, which are very similar to pashki. They're like a jelly-filled donut, and they're traditionally eaten during the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. The first thing you're going to do, you're going to get all your ingredients together. Because we're going to be starting by making a dough, you're going to want to get your yeast ready first. You're going to combine your yeast with a 1/3 cup of warm water. The warm water actually helps the yeast activate and will make your dough rise, but if your water is too warm, it will cook your yeast and it won't rise. We're going to whisk it together. Make sure that all the yeast is incorporated. And then you're gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes. You should see it start to bubble on top. That's the yeast doing its thing. Now that your yeast is nice and bubbly, you're going to combine it with the flour. This will be about 1.5 cups of flour, and you're gonna have some flour on the side just in case. You're gonna pour all of the yeast in there. And then you're also gonna add your sugar and your 1 egg, as well as your bit of vanilla and your salt. And we only need a little pinch of salt. Usually to start mixing it, I don't just go in with my hands. I like to take a spatula and start to incorporate it all together. And then once it starts to form a bit more of a dough, you can take it out and eat it. And when you mix this first part, it is gonna be a bit dry. You're gonna be like, wow, there's a lot of flour here. That is because you haven't added your butter yet. And all of your flour should get incorporated into this bit of dough. So there shouldn't be any bits left in your bowl. Almost all of the flour is incorporated into this point, and all of the ingredients are mixed in. And so you can take a tablespoon of butter and you can mix it in. And this will make the dough nice and smooth. You're gonna need to knead for about like 10 minutes, or, well, actually, you'll probably need to knead for 5 minutes. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's about done. And we are going to put it in this bowl to rise for 1 hour. It should at least double in size. Oh my gosh, it's been a whole hour already. Crazy. And look, oh my gosh, it doubled in size. Perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our freshly risen dough. We're going to put it on our little cutting board, and we are going to divide it into 6 equal parts. So my favorite way to do this is to just cut it in half, and then turn it just a little bit, cut it in half again, turn it just a little bit, cut it in half again. It's almost like a beach ball. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take each of your separated triangle dough pieces and you're going to roll them into a ball. Now that we've waited for these to rise, they are ready to fry. But first we gotta heat up our fryer oil. So there's a couple ways to tell if your oil is hot enough or not. So something I like to do is get my fingers just a little wet and flick some water in. And as you can see, nothing has happened because it's not hot enough. But if it was hot enough, the oil would start to bubble. Now I'm gonna take just a little bit off of one of these and I'm gonna test it. And we're gonna see. If it starts to fry, you might be ready. Not quite. Okay, there we go. It's popping a little bit with the water, so I think we're good. A part of the reason why we celebrate Hanukkah is because of the oil that lasted in the menorah. It was only meant to last for 1 night, but in a miracle, it lasted for 8 nights. And so because of that, we cook a lot of food with oil. Just to start with, I'm gonna take one. Because you don't want the oil to splash on your hands, you're gonna take the spoon and drop it in. And you'll see when you drop it in, it's going to start to bubble all around. So this stove, and it may depend on your stove, may take a while to cook the donuts. You may need to be a little bit patient, or it may seem like it's cooking them pretty fast. If it does seem like it's cooking them pretty fast, your oil may be too hot. Because even if it looks done on the outside, it still might be raw and doughy in the center, and you don't want that. Okay, and here we go. One is done. Now, I'm gonna put 2 in. You don't want to put too many in at a time because they'll all cook very slowly. It takes a lot of heat to cook the donut, and so if it's trying to cook all 6 donuts at once, it's gonna take a while. So when they're ready to come out, as you see here, I've prepared a tray with some paper towels. This just helps soak up a little bit of the extra oil from when they were frying. Because, I don't know about you, I don't necessarily like to take a bite into a donut and have a big spurt of oil. So while your donuts are cooling or cooking, you can start to prepare your jelly. I just took the jar of jelly, I used a spatula to pour it into this bowl. And then, we're gonna just take a plastic bag. You're gonna fold the top over. And you can either use a bowl, but if you don't have one, you can just pour your jelly into the bag. It can be a bit messy, but that is why we folded it over. And so we can just do this. You're gonna wanna zip it, but not all the way. So you can squeeze a bit of that air out at the end. You're gonna wanna center your jelly down towards the tip over here, and then you can twist, and you have a bit of a piping bag. Once your donuts are a bit cooler, you can take your finger and poke a hole in the center. You can take your scissors, cut off the tip. I usually like to pour a bit out. And then you can fill your donut. Huzzah. To finish them off, I like to just take a dash of powdered sugar and sprinkle it on top. And ta-da! You have a Sufganiyot. Thanks for watching. This has been Kids Kits. I have been Azer Matin, and I hope that you enjoy your Sufganiyot.